That down. Let's move on to this. In the midst of all the questions going around, and they will persist until we finally get an announcement about who's going to be the next James Bond. Guys, we have literally been talking about who's going to be the next James Bond. People have been writing in questions about who's going to be the next James Bond, literally for years already. Like since before the last Daniel Craig movie even came out in theaters. Like, I feel like this was like 4 or 5 years ago that the first rumors came up about maybe it's Idris Elba, maybe it's Tom Hiddleston.
We've watched candidates get old and become no longer become candidates.
Like Mahershala Ali playing Blade.
Come on. You always got to throw that in my face, man. Come on.
But I mean, it's been forever. But kind of hidden behind all the noise about who's going to be the next Bond has been the question, who's going to direct? Maybe even more importantly, who's going to direct the next James Bond? Now, there have been reports over the past number of months that a couple of the best directors in the world, Denis Villeneuve, has met with the Broccoli family. Of course, the Broccoli family is ultimately the people in charge of the James Bond franchise. There's been reports that Christopher Nolan straight up wants to direct a James Bond film. The problem, of course, is that he's also publicly said he would have to be in complete control of it, and I don't think the Broccoli's are going to allow that. Nor should they. Because the Broccoli's got to think about the next 5 James Bond movies. You can't just let any director come in and do whatever they want with one, because then that kind of ties your hands behind your back about what you can do later on. But whatever. Well, now another name has kind of surfaced. I've seen this floating around a little bit. There's no official word about it, but it's an interesting name. La La Land, Whiplash, and First Man director Damien Chazelle. The rumor going around now, he has publicly said before that he doesn't want to work on any Hollywood IPs except James Bond. James Bond has been the one thing that he has said he would do. And now rumors are circulating that last week he actually met with the Broccoli family. Now, again, let me serve this up with a giant boulder of salt. This is not coming from official sources. These are rumors going around. Sometimes rumors are right. Oftentimes they're wrong. But it does kind of match up. We know that the Broccolis have been targeting big player directors. We know that Damien Chazelle has said he would love to direct. Like, out of all the Hollywood IPs, he doesn't want to do any of them except for Bond. He is a remarkable director. Look, Babylon, was that the name of the one he just did with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Was it called Babylon?
Yep.
Yeah.
That wasn't so good. But you could tell it was made by an artist, right? Like, I ended up not liking Babylon that much, and it certainly kind of flopped. But even then, even though it didn't work, you could tell somebody who really knows what they're doing made this movie. It didn't just quite work out. But I love his other 3. I thought First Man that he did with Ryan Gosling was underrated.
I still want to see that.
It's really good. I mean, it wasn't for me like a top 5 film of the year that year, but it was a really good movie. La La Land has become like a Hollywood pillar now. Like now when you think Hollywood, a lot of people just think La La Land, right? Won a whole ton of Academy Awards, all that kind of stuff. And maybe to me, his best film, Whiplash, which also won some Oscars, got J.K. Simmons his Academy Award.
It's coming back in theaters too.
Coming back into theaters. This guy is a tremendous director. And side note, the cinematographer, Linus
Sandgren.
Sandgren, is that how you say it?
Sandgren.
Okay. Linus Sandgren, that Damien Chazelle works with all the time, just so happened to have done one of the last James Bond movies as well. So there's so they could work together again on James Bond.
I had no idea he wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Did Damien Chazelle write that?
He wrote it right here. 10
Wow.
Cloverfield Lane.
I did not know
That was like the best of that series, in my opinion, as far as writing, you know.
And and as far as directing, it shows he has nothing upcoming.
Actually, 10 Cloverfield Lane, that was the one with John Goodman, right?
Yeah.
That was I think that was easily the best movie of the franchise.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was really, and of course, you had Mary Elizabeth in there as well, which I adore her.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he has any upcoming projects, or at least in IMDb.
Well, that's the other thing. In a recent interview, Damien Chazelle was being interviewed, and he said, the interviewer asked him what's he doing next, and he said, well, I've got 2 projects that everybody's waiting for me to pick between. Could one of those be James Bond? I think the answer, again, nothing's confirmed here. This is all rumor and speculation, but the stars seem to be aligned. Look, all I'll say is this. If they announce tomorrow, if I open up the Hollywood Reporter tomorrow and see that Damien Chazelle is going to be the director of the next James Bond, I'm going to be very happy. Don't get me wrong. There are other directors they could announce that would also make me very happy, but I think this is one of those names that I think James Bond fans would be really happy. You get a high quality storyteller and an Academy Award winning filmmaker and a Damien Chazelle. Then it really starts to intensify, because I guarantee you, if they get him to direct the next James Bond, the next rumor about who's going to play James Bond is going to be Ryan Gosling.
The American.
Because he's worked with him, right? He's worked with him in La La Land. He worked with him in First Man.
Yeah, buddy.
Again, no. They won't let him. They won't pick the Canadian.
No.
Yeah.
Although
I mean,
Canada,
still part of the
England,
Commonwealth.
we're pretty close.
The Commonwealth.
We both have the Queen.
Although I don't
now
know
we're
if
gonna have to
Canada's
put
in the
king.
Commonwealth anymore.
But we've had the Queen. We still had the Queen on our money.
Would love to see him as
We
a
still
villain.
have royalty in our money.
Would love to see him as a villain of James Bond.
That could be good, because I remember when they went out and got why am I freezing on one of the sexiest guys alive?
Rayora? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
That's what I'm
Oh
thinking.
my
in
God.
studio.
Inspired.
In Blind World, Rayora.
No, the guy from No Country for Old Men won the Academy Award for Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they went and got a super hot actor at the time in Javier Bardem, got him to be the villain. They got Rami Malek, an Academy Award winning, hot actor at the time, to go out and be a villain. Maybe you could convince a Ryan Gosling to play a bad guy.
Have James Bond villains also been British? Have they made that a point too?
No.
As well?
Not
No.
necessarily.
They've
Get
been from
Ben
all
Foster
over.
in there.
I mean,
bring back Ben Foster.
Traditionally, they would be like from the early days. They would have been Russian.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So-
But then you had like your Sean Bean was in
006
but yeah, it was 006.
died in that movie too.
That was GoldenEye, right?
I can't.
He did. He also died in that movie.
Yeah.
Was that right away?
Correct me in the live chat, but I think that was GoldenEye.
006.
It could be. I'm gonna look that up.
Anyway,
Yeah.
well, again, do not start talking to your friends and saying, "Did you hear Damien Chazelle's going to direct the next James Bond?" That's the whispers, the rumors, all that kind of stuff. But just as movie fans, we love to speculate, and I think it'd be pretty damn cool if he ended up directing this film. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. And PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. You see, PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And I was pleasantly surprised by just how quick and easy it was to get set up and registered and ready to go. Here's a couple of examples of picking your more or less. Tyreek Hill for more than 90 receiving yards, Dak Prescott for more than 263 passing yards, and CeeDee Lamb for more than 96 receiving yards. So guys, download the PrizePicks app today and use the code CAMPEA and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CAMPEA on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think Damien Chazelle will actually end up being the next director of James Bond? Would you like to see him direct a James Bond? Or do you have somebody else in mind? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.